All right, what's going on, everybody? So I have some exciting news. If you haven't heard already, the Supreme Court decided today, 6-3, in favor of protecting First Amendment rights, and specifically for a football coach who had been praying at the half-yard line between games by himself and with other students, and how being fired, the school district had fired him, that was violating the First Amendment religious freedom protections. And so it's setting a precedent for the future in terms of what it means of having separation of church and state, but more specifically, protecting the rights of praying in public and being able to express your religious freedoms. And we're living in a time, which I've been saying for a while, is where the Christian religion, Christianity, anything to do with Jesus and speaking on behalf of prayer and activities and doing things for the Lord is being demonized, and it's being attacked, it's being persecuted, and it's being done much more so than any other area. And it's hypocrisy in some sense. So any LGBTQ movement, any pride movement, anything with the leftist agenda in some sense, and even other religions, if you think about like the Muslim religion, for instance, you don't take, and it's less of a concern for people to demonize and shove Muslims praying than it would be to witness a Christian person praying, and especially kneeling down and having other people surrounding them to have prayer groups. And so everybody has their own choice to be able to pray. And so I'm not going to argue the details of this case and your thought process here, but there's a bigger issue at hand, which is that at the government level, at the federal level, we've been persecuting, we've been silencing, we've been stifling this move of God. And so it's not about, hey, let's be mindful of other people and these things. Yes, you don't want to stuff religion down someone's throat. You don't want to look at somebody and just like start babbling like you're some religious fanatic, right? And the Bible even talks about that. People that are hypocrites, that will pray in the synagogues, on the street corners, they will have their reward, the Bible says, Jesus preaches. And that's different than the heart of prayer, the desire to want to get together as a community, whether you are in a public setting, whether you are in a private setting, it doesn't matter, because the heart is what matters. And for you to have this looming rule over you in fear of being sued, in fear of being fired, in fear of doing all these different things that allows you to make a different choice than to actually cry out to the Lord and pray, is a violation not only of the First Amendment rights, but of what you need to be able to do as a Christian to evangelize, to disciple, to encourage other people, to do these different things. And we've lived in such a time, for such a long time, for which all these things were deemed uncomfortable, awkward. We shouldn't be doing that. And it's spiraled down to a place for which it's normalized. And now we have to be in a place for which we can come out of that. Prayer, especially if it's not stuffing it down someone's throat and making people actually uncomfortable and forcing it upon them. If it's not that, and you're on the sidelines with other friendly people and like-minded people wanting to do that, then you let them do that. You don't see that when a Muslim person is on their mat praying, right? You're not going to go up to him and say, hey, you got to stop that. I'm going to fire you. You're not seeing that with the LGBTQ, the pride stuff, and many other things, right? When people are protesting, speaking out. But when it looks like, oh, someone's getting together as a Christian group and they're praying and huddling, we need to stop that. And in fact, we have to fire them. This is the kind of persecution that has normalized over many, many years. And this has to stop, not only because of the First Amendment rights and your interpretation of it, but because God deserves the glory. He's so good. He's so amazing. He's so wondrous that you have to, as a country, set rules and laws that allow you to freely express that. And again, you're not going to go up to somebody and make them feel uncomfortable and stuff it down their throat. I'm not saying to go out there and start speaking in tongues and just start babbling prayers. I'm saying that you as a Christian, especially one that might be newer, weaker, whatever you want to call it, they may feel uncomfortable doing that. And what you're doing is you're setting habits such that when they go out in public, they're in fear of not wanting to pray. And so this is a huge landmark decision case for which it's going to it's going to set a precedent for many different other cases that are going to come, and especially as people step out and actually do what God has called them to do, to be able to witness, to evangelize, to disciple, to outreach, whatever it is. And so God is using this for great things. If we want to move into a kingdom age for which this country, the world is going to be in a better spot religiously, and especially for the Christian and God movement and the Christ movement, the kingdom movement, then we have to set rules like this up. And so this is why the Supreme Court, man, God is happy. He's pleased by some of these rulings that are coming out, and more is to come, guys. So pray for them. More is going to happen. It's going to just make demonic, the left, whatever you want to call it, people that are not religious, people meaning that are not of Christ likeness, they're going to be screaming. They're going to be hating it. And so guys, keep praying. This is great news. More to come, guys. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.